Good afternoon and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Imam, come to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. JAM uncovers 9,460 illegal admissions in 20 tertiary institutions. Governor Moino inaugurates 10.4 kilometers Idoro Uyo Okumobak Road project. Plus, United States senators approve $9 billion for Elon Musk federal cuts. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. First on the news this afternoon is that Vice President Kashim Shettima has underscored the significance of the traditional institutions in the country, saying that their roles in sustainable development cannot be sidelined in the scheme of things. Shettima spoke at the colloquium to mark the 10th anniversary of the rulership of Oba Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade, the Deji of Akure, represented by Special Advisor on Economic Affairs Dr. Tokwe Falswa. The Vice President explained that the traditional rulers, as custodians of the people's culture and traditions, are very important for national cohesion, adding that in building a nation for economic growth, the traditional rulers in the country must be strengthened to further promote development. Away from that, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has promised to end Nigeria's dependence on imported fish by boosting local production. The minister made the promise at a high-level consultative meeting with fisheries cooperative groups in Abuja. He outlined his ministry's bold vision of transforming the nation's aquaculture sector into a powerhouse of food security, employment, and export competitiveness. The minister assured fellow Nigerians that the federal government remained committed to supporting the fisheries and the aquaculture subsectors through policy, technical support, and financial inclusion. In the meantime, the federal government has forecast potential flooding in 38 locations across some states of the federation. It warned that heavy rainfall, which will pour up to Sunday, July 20, 2025, could trigger flooding in some states. The alert signed by the director of the department, Usman Boknai, was issued by the Federal Ministry of Environment through the National Flood Early Warning Center under the Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department. States expected to be affected by the prediction include Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Borno, Bauchi, and Plateau. Others are Yobe, Katsina, Kano, Cross River, and Zamfara. Earlier, the federal government initiated the establishment of the National Flood Insurance Policy as a proactive measure to address Nigeria's growing vulnerability to flood disasters. Speaking during the opening of the technical committee meeting on the development of the National Flood Insurance Policy and Implementation Framework in Abuja in June, the permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of the Environment, Mahmoud Kambari, the permanent described, I beg your pardon, the rising flood incidents across the country as a national emergency that demands immediate and decisive action. He said there is a need to transition from a reactive to a proactive and sustainable approach to flood risk management, and national flood insurance program is central to building long-term resilience. In politics, the Ovation magazine publisher Dele Momodu has resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and joined the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Momodu's resignation was contained in a letter dated July 17, 2025, and addressed to the chairman of the PDP, Ward 4 Ivebe in Owan East local government area of Edo State. The veteran journalist cited the hijack of the PDP by anti-democratic forces as the reason for his resignation. He disclosed that he would join the opposition coalition floated on the ADC platform to unseat President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the 2027 election. On education matters, no fewer than 9,469 admissions across 20 tertiary institutions nationwide have been flagged as fake by the Joint Matriculation Board for the 2024 academic session. According to the board, the admissions were conducted outside the popular Central Admission Processing System, popularly known as CAPS. According to the list obtained from JAM, Kano State University of Science and Technology led the pack with 2,215 fake admissions, with Ladoke Akintola University of Technology following with 1,215. Others are Gombe State University at 1,164, Emmanuel Alayande University of Education 761, Federal University of Technology Owerri with 534, and Rosalie University 514, Igbinedion University 365, Akwa Ibom Polytechnic 340, and College of Nursing National Orthopedic Hospital Ikpobi 281. Back here on the home front, the Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moina has inaugurated the 10.4 kilometers Idoro Uyo Ukwomobak Road project in fulfillment of his campaign promises to complete all projects inherited from the immediate past administration of Obodo Emmanuel and his resolve to ensure that quality infrastructures are put in place to open up rural communities and boost economic and agricultural activities in the state. Governor No, who spoke at the inauguration of the project, said though the project was very challenging, he was happy that it had been successfully completed. The governor, who commended the contractor and the state commissioner for works for a job well done, reiterated his promise to the people to connect the rural communities to the urban centers, just like he will keep connecting the center of Akwa Ibom to the center in Abuja. While commending President Bola Tinubu on his economic reforms in the state, Governor Eno said the project would not have been possible without the support of President Bola Tinubu, who has released funding to the states to enable government deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. The governor maintained that having completed the political movement, his administration will continue to ensure that Akwa Ibom stands to benefit from the movement. He also used the occasion to announce plans of building youth-friendly centers across the local government areas in the state. Will give us this road is a fulfillment of the promises we made to you during our campaign that we will do all we can to complete all ongoing projects by the last administration. But I'm sure you are happy today that this road is done. We want to continue to promise our people that we will keep connecting our rural communities to the center, just like we keep connecting the center of Akwa Ibom to the center in Abuja. We want to thank you for your understanding. This would not have been possible without the support of the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has released funding to the state so that we can go on to continue. Government House correspondent Jenua reports that in their remarks, stakeholders from Uyo and Abak local government areas took turns to commend Governor Eno for his compassionate disposition. They assured the state leader of their unalloyed loyalty and support to his government. We move now to Africa, where France will today formally hand back its last military bases in Senegal, leaving the French army with no permanent camps in West and Central Africa. Ending the French army 65 years in Senegal, the pullout comes after similar withdrawals across the continent, with former colonies increasingly turning their back on their former ruler. Around 350 French soldiers, primarily tasked with conducting joint operations with the Senegalese army will leave the West African nation after a 3 month departure process. France started ceding its bases to Senegal in March. Recall that after storming to victory in 2024 elections, promising radical change, Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye demanded France withdraw troops from the country by 2025. Unlike the leaders of other former colonies such as Ginger, Ron, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, however, Faye has insisted that Senegal will keep working with Paris. On the foreign scene, the United States Senate approved early Thursday a package of spending cuts proposed by President Donald Trump that could cancel more than $9 billion in funding for foreign aid programs and public broadcasting. The upper chamber of Congress greenlit the measure in what was seen as the first test of how easily lawmakers could usher into law savings sought by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOG, in the aftermath of the tech mogul's acrimonious exit from the government. Despite the cutbacks on popularity in some sections of both parties, the Republican led Senate passed the measure with 51 votes for and 48 against in a session that went more than 2 hours past midnight. The version of the text passed in June by the House of Representatives sought to eliminate $400 million in funding allocated to health programs, including the PEPFAR Global AIDS Relief Fund created by the then President George W. Bush. Still on the foreign scene, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee says he has asked Israeli authorities to aggressively investigate the killings of a Palestinian American in the occupied West Bank. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, Saifullah Musalat, known as Saif, a 20-year-old dual U.S. citizen, was beaten to death by Israeli settlers in the town of Sinju. After an initially muted U.S. reaction, Huckabee, a supporter of Israeli settlements in the Palestinian territories, described it as a criminal and terrorist act. Meanwhile, in a press briefing, US President Donald Trump said a meeting on the killing would be held today. Still to come in the news. Nigeria crash out of FIBA Under 19 World Cup. Stay tuned for details of this and more after the break. Thanks for staying tuned, and now we bring you the concluding part of the news this hour. On our business news, the federal government has unveiled an ambitious target to ramp up national electricity supply from the current output of about 5,500 megawatts to 8,500 megawatts within the next 12 to 18 months as part of efforts to stabilize and expand Nigeria's power infrastructure. The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Ayodeji Bele, gave the charge in Abuja during a senior leadership team retreat for top management members of the newly established Nigerian Independent System Operator NISO. He tasked NISO to take the lead in improving grid management, system reliability, and operational efficiency to deliver on the target. According to him, the power sector's growth depends heavily on a stable transmission backbone and a well managed national grid, noting that enhanced coordination and investments in system operations are crucial to meeting consumer demand and supporting industrial growth. Still in business, data from the Consumer Price Index CPI reports by the National Bureau of Statistics NBS has revealed that Nigeria's inflation rate eased to 22.2% in June, 2025, down from 22.9% recorded in May. This represents a 0.75 percent point drop on a year-on-year basis and an 11.97 percentage point decline compared to the 34.1% recorded in June 2024. On a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation stood at 1.68% in June 2025, slightly higher than the 1.53% recorded in May, indicating a modest acceleration in the rate of average price increase within the month. The NBS therefore cautioned that comparisons across states should be made with care as CPI rates vary based on differing consumption patterns, which may affect regional inflation measurements. On our health news, the Lagos State government has begun implementing the federal government sector-wide approach initiative to improve healthcare delivery and resource management in the state. The SWAP initiative focused on a sector-wide approach, the HOPE agenda, performance-based planning, and web-based operational tools for smarter health investment. The implementation began with a 4-day capacity building workshop for health leaders and managers within the state's health sector to deepen their understanding of the health sector approach, planning, and accountability to ensure that interventions are impactful. The Lagos State Ministry of Health, in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the SWAP Coordination Office, flagged the workshop in Ikeja to further strengthen the health system, streamline healthcare services, enhance data collection, and ensure accountability in the use of funds. The workshop is part of the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, themed towards a rational, realistic, pragmatic, and comprehensive plan that informs health budget for the people of Lagos State. To sports news now, where the Hungary basketball team on Wednesday defeated Junior D Tigers 75-51 to send Nigeria sparking for the ongoing FIBA Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup. Reports say the Nigerian girls were completely overwhelmed by their opponents as they struggled throughout the encounter. They started on a good note, recording a 9-9 scoreline in the first quarter of the game, but fell apart in the second quarter, losing 12-30. The team fought back in the third quarter but could only make 15-16 points, which was not good enough to pressure the European team. Still in sports, Fenerbahce manager Jose Mourinho is ready to wait on Marcus Rashford despite the Manchester United forward preferring a move to Barcelona. According to reports, Mourinho is keen on a reunion with Rashford. However, the 27-year-old's £40 million price tag might prove to be the stumbling block. Despite that, Fenerbahce will patiently wait until August to try to get a better deal. Rashford played under Mourinho at United between 2016 and 2018. During that period, he scored 28 goals and provided 20 assists in 125 appearances. On entertainment news, Nigerian musician David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has been awarded a silver certification in the United Kingdom for his album Timeless, a leading platform for music analytics and certifications. Chart data explained that the album was acknowledged after selling over 100,000 units in the UK. Also, the song earned the singer a Headies nomination for Song of the Year and 2 Grammy nominations for Best Global Album and Best Global Song Performance. Lastly, in the news at this hour, Ghanaian actor Van Vega is celebrating a significant milestone as his daughter graduates with a Bachelor of Law degree. The proud father took to Instagram to share the news, expressing admiration for his daughter's hard work and dedication. Vika commended her resilience and commitment, acknowledging the challenges of staying focused in today's world. The actor thanked God for blessing his daughter with the achievement and congratulated her on her success. And that's all we have on the news at this hour. Do well to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. This has been Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai MM. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.